a good time every time. Y'all need to relax, okay? Sophie Cunningham helped the Indiana Fever defeat the Phoenix Mercury, and she wanted to do her signature point, and we got the Fun Police, Indiana Fever assistant coaching staff coming in trying to ruin everything. We got to get into that, and it looks like the WNBA Women's Sports Sundays or whatever it is.
The Indiana Fever franchise now finds itself at the center of one of the biggest storylines in the basketball world. Fan discussion has intensified, social media is flooded with debate, and speculation about the team's future continues to dominate headlines. With expectations higher than ever, every development surrounding the organization is being watched closely. For decades, professional basketball has operated under a clear structure. Players compete on the court, coaches implement the game plan, and front office leadership works to keep the organization moving in the same direction. But in today's WNBA, where media attention is greater than ever and fan engagement continues to grow, that traditional balance faces constant scrutiny. What once looked like an exciting chapter for the franchise has evolved into a wide-ranging conversation about coaching decisions, team chemistry, and the direction of the organization. The discussion didn't begin with a trade or an opponent. Instead, it grew from the way fans interpreted the team's handling of key moments involving some of its biggest stars. As the season has unfolded, the physical nature of the game has strengthened the bonds between teammates while also fueling passionate reactions from supporters. Many fans believe strong internal unity is essential when facing aggressive competition. As a result, every coaching decision, lineup adjustment, and response to physical play has been analyzed from every angle. With ongoing speculation surrounding the team's future, the spotlight has only grown brighter. Questions about leadership, chemistry, and long-term direction continue to dominate conversations, making every game and every organizational decision one of the most closely watched stories in professional basketball.
Sophie Cunningham having a good time, celebrating, and then you're going to watch the Fun Police. The Fun Police, Indiana Fever assistant coaches come in. Hey, you're having too much fun. Stop. Take a look. Let her point. She's pointing. She's having a good time. She's celebrating with the fans after a win. And here comes the Fun Police. Look, why are you knocking her arm down? Like, fall back. Sometimes y'all just gotta fall back. Look, you hitting her, push her arm down. Like, bro, y'all gotta relax. Y'all have got to relax. We don't need you policing us. Like, look, we just won a game. If I want to point to the crowd with my signature Sophie the Blonde Bomber point and have a good time and celebrate a win, let me be.
The franchise now finds itself facing a serious organizational challenge that could derail its momentum in a remarkably short time. To understand how this high-profile team reached such a critical moment, you have to look beyond the headlines and examine the intense dynamics unfolding under the bright arena lights. In today's WNBA, the arrival of generational stars has transformed the league into one of the most closely watched competitions in professional sports. Every possession is analyzed by millions of fans, making every hard screen, every disputed whistle, every missed call, and every physical collision an instant topic of national discussion. With the spotlight brighter than ever, the margin for error has become incredibly small. Every coaching decision, officiating call, and on-court confrontation is immediately dissected across television, social media, and sports talk shows. In this environment, even a single controversial moment can dominate the basketball conversation long after the final buzzer sounds.
One of the things is the lawmakers have requested an investigation. I'm just going to do it legal. Okay,
that's fine. All right, fine.
Okay, so
the law is your sport.
Okay, thank you. The law, thank you, Tim. The letter asks that for an investigation into this. This isn't, from my understanding, the first time that you would have some sort of like civil rights investigation involving basketball players. So it's not like it's something new.
Yeah,
Jason,
no, and I'll tell you
what is
why.
going on the court here?
I think it's absolutely silly, and it's anti-woman athlete they play incredibly physical basketball in the WNBA.
Hey, I'm glad to have a Democrat defending women's sports. This is rare.
Tim, how many WNBA games have you watched in totality? I bet you none of those lawmakers have watched them.
Zero.
So
Actually, I guarantee you they watched games of Caitlin Clark.
How are they coming to these conclusions when they haven't watched the play in other instances? She gets physical play because she's a good player, and I've never seen them come to the rescue of someone like Angel Reese, for example,
wait, hold on a second.
who got clotheslined on the court.
We have a Democrat defending women's sports here. Jason, do you think? Hold on, Jason. Do you think Michael Jordan should be able to play in the WNBA?
No, but here's what I'm saying. Michael Jordan's too old. But I'll tell you this much. Michael Jordan, when he was getting fouled by the Detroit Pistons and getting slammed on the ground, Congress didn't come in.
During this emotionally charged stretch of the season, a new narrative began to dominate the conversation. Whenever games became increasingly physical, players like Sophie Cunningham were widely viewed by fans as vocal leaders willing to stand up for Caitlin Clark amid relentless defensive pressure. To many supporters, those moments represented exactly what the team needed, an unwavering display of unity, toughness, and solidarity on the court. Behind the scenes, however, the situation appeared far more complex. Inside film sessions and strategy meetings, that emotional intensity reportedly collided with a very different coaching philosophy. While many fans wanted immediate, aggressive responses to every physical confrontation, reports suggested the coaching staff preferred a disciplined, structured approach focused on long-term execution rather than emotional reactions. According to multiple reports, significant discussions took place regarding how the team should handle on-court confrontations and protect its players. Instead of easing the growing tension, the philosophical divide became another major talking point among fans and media alike. Many supporters interpreted the coaching staff's commitment to discipline as a lack of visible support during some of the team's most emotional moments. Once conversations like these begin spilling into the public spotlight, organizations often find themselves facing an entirely new challenge, managing perception as much as performance. The reaction across social media was immediate, with Fever fans passionately debating the team's direction, coaching decisions, and leadership. As the discussion continued to grow, every decision, every substitution, and every post-game comment became another focal point in one of the league's most closely followed storylines.
So Stephanie White, find something else for them to do. Find something else for them to do. They're trying to police everything. They're trying to stop a good time. Find something to do. Leave it alone. Now, we have to get into this because it looks like viewership is down. You know, it's up. It may be in a good place for women's basketball, but compared to what they got rid of to have this, it looks like this isn't going so well. This is courtesy of Awful Announcing. It says Women's Sports Sundays holding its own after replacing Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Okay. Here it says, ESPN replaced Sunday Night Baseball with Women's Sports Sundays. And 3 weeks in, we are getting our first look at how the change is working for ESPN. Through 3 weeks, WNBA games on Women's Sports Sundays are averaging 1 million viewers. The latest edition of Women's Sports Sundays was by far the series' biggest viewership success, with 1.6 million people watching the Indiana Fever take on the Las Vegas Aces. Now, here it says the Fever Aces was a strong audience for the WNBA on ESPN viewership. For the game was up 53% from ESPN's WNBA regular season last season and up 3% from last season's Indiana Fever average on ESPN. Okay, now here's where things get tricky, and they the word semantics. So they're gonna tell you, hey, it's up 1 million viewers, it's up. Now remember what it replaced. Sunday Night Baseball is averaging substantially more viewers.
The message from the fan base has become impossible to ignore. Across the basketball world, growing frustration is placing even greater pressure on league officials and team leadership. In today's game, maintaining the trust of both supporters and star players has become more important than ever. When public sentiment shifts from backing a team to openly questioning its direction, the organization inevitably finds itself under intense scrutiny. The challenge doesn't end there. Every passing day fuels fresh speculation about the future of the franchise. Rumors continue to circulate regarding the long-term outlook of several key players, prompting widespread discussion among fans, analysts, and media outlets. Whenever uncertainty surrounds a team's core, questions about stability and future success naturally follow. If multiple cornerstone players are perceived to be evaluating their futures, the pressure on the organization increases dramatically. At that point, the focus extends well beyond wins and losses. Leadership must reassure both the locker room and the fan base that the franchise remains united and committed to building a successful future. The organization is no longer fighting solely for playoff positioning. It is working to preserve confidence, maintain stability, and demonstrate that it can keep its core together. The decisions made from this point forward could shape the direction of the franchise for years to come, making every move one of the most closely watched stories in professional basketball.
Good shot. Yeah, good shot, Caitlin. Yeah. Good shot. Yeah, good pass, Sophie. Good pass. Yeah, good pass. Yeah. Stephanie White doing a fucking backflip. Doing a freaking backflip. This is sick. Look at how excited y'all are. Caitlin also won a game and set records, even with AB, and this jealous coach had nothing to say. No emotion, literally no mention of CC. She even turned the team against CC. Damn. Acting like you won the championship after beating one of the worst teams. Unreal. Funny how White always seems to be more excited after wins when Clark doesn't play, and funny how minute restrictions and multiple rotations just went out the window, unlike last game. Yeah, Aaliyah Boston comes off of being out with a injury to playing fucking 38 minutes. I don't think Caitlin Clark's ever played 38 minutes in her WNBA career. I don't. Cece, it's been a fun 5 to 6 years watch you play basketball. Never thought I would rather watch a women's basketball game than many other sports. That was because of you and how you made the games exciting. It's over now. Too many people, lesbian, jealous people, want to destroy you. I don't see things changing in the W unless something crazy is uncovered or Congress does actually investigate. If you are unwilling, and I know and appreciate your morals and integrity, to stand up and actually fight back to these people, it's going to only get worse for you and your career. We are here for you and will always have your back. Damn. Sophie Cunningham trolling the Phoenix Mercury. Michaela Timpson with the greatest defensive play in WNBA history, and she's only in her second year. That shows how much of an athletic freak Michaela Timpson is and how subpar the WNBA has been. And then we have Stephanie White becoming erect watching Kelsey Mitchell go-ahead shot, comparing it to Caitlin Clark's game winner.
Now, the organization stands at a critical crossroads, facing a high-stakes dilemma with no easy way forward. Every statement, lineup adjustment, and executive decision from this point on will be scrutinized under an intense spotlight. The coaching staff finds itself backed into a corner, torn between defending its established approach and rebuilding trust within a frustrated locker room. To stop the growing criticism and regain the confidence of the fan base, a significant decision must be made. Do they continue relying on a rigid tactical system, expecting the roster to adapt, or do they reshape their approach by giving players the stronger organizational support that many fans have been calling for? The clock is ticking, and the margin for error continues to shrink. Sports history has shown that talented teams are not always defeated by their opponents. Sometimes, internal division becomes their greatest obstacle. When the connection between the players on the court and the leadership on the sidelines begins to weaken, reversing the momentum becomes an enormous challenge. One thing is clear. The current situation cannot continue indefinitely. Growing criticism, increasing public scrutiny, and ongoing questions surrounding the team's direction have placed the franchise at a pivotal moment. The decisions made over the coming weeks could shape not only the future of the organization, but also the perception of the league as a whole. Will the front office take decisive action to strengthen the team's foundation and restore confidence throughout the organization? Or has the tension already reached a point where rebuilding trust will be far more difficult? The basketball world is watching every move. What are your thoughts on the current situation? Share your opinion in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more in-depth coverage of the biggest stories in basketball.